Hi, so in this video we'll see some of the aspects of vector data. I have already shared with you a data folder containing vector data. You need to download this data folder at a known location in your system. Now this is my GIS interface, and we will first see how we can bring in a vector data in this environment. So my vector data, my folder is stored in E drive. I have created this folder WPG24GIS, and here is the data folder, and here is the classwork data one, the same folder which I have already shared with you. If I click over here, I can see the content of this data folder. Now these are the vector data models which are present in this folder, and we'll see how to bring in. So now let us say I want to bring this country shapefile. So we'll see what the shapefile is. So this is a country.shp. It might be the case that in your case you see only country, not .shp as the extension. I have enabled the setting in my system so that I can see all the extensions of all the files. So if you do not see any extension like .shp, doesn't matter, not a big deal. So double click on the country.shp. By double clicking, you bring this vector data on the map canvas. The moment you double click it, you introduce the layer on a map canvas, and the same layer is added over here in the layer panel, as you can see over here. Now this layer shows the world map with the boundaries of countries which are shown as polygon. I can pan this data using this option which is available over here, which shows the pan map. Okay. Similarly, we'll now see a couple of useful tools available over here in a toolbar. If I want to zoom in, the zoom in option is available over here. Zoom in, I can click over there, and let us say I want to zoom in this part of the world map. I will just draw a rectangle, and that component will get zoom in. If I want to further zoom in, I can go further. Okay. Similarly, I can zoom out. The option is available over here, zoom out. The moment you hover your mouse, you can see the function of that tool. I can zoom out. Similarly, I can zoom out. Okay. But let us say if I want to see the entire map extent, the option is available over here, which is called as the zoom to the layer, zoom full. So once I click this, I can see the entire map layer in one go. For example, I am just repeating this function. I am just zooming in, but I want to see the entire map extent. I can click over here. Similarly, if we have learned in this case of vector data model always comes with the attribute table. So we'll see now how one can see the attribute table associated with this map. Now we will see the attribute table of this vector layer. I can see the attribute table, but before that I need to select this layer. So I can click over here in a layer panel. By doing this, I am selecting this layer. I can again click somewhere else, so this it is getting deselected. So see carefully, I am selecting this again by clicking over here. Then I can open the attribute table by clicking over here, which shows open attribute table. I will just click with a single click, this attribute table will be open in another window. Now this attribute table is attached with this map. So as we have learned earlier, this vector data model is nothing but a composition of the spatial aspects which you see as a map and the attributes which are there in attribute table. This attribute table is similar to an Excel table, and here you have a lot of information stored over here. So for example, I can see this information including there are some codes, country codes, then there are some country name which I can see over here, then there is some information about the sovereignty, then you can see the population of the country, then you can see the area in square kilometer, and then you can see also some data about the currency type and whether the country is landlocked or not. So this is the attribute table which was prepared by a person who has made this vector data model or a vector layer. So this is by default available with this map layer. I can modify this, I can add to this attribute table, I can modify this attribute table, but we will see those things in subsequent classes. So in this attribute table, if I scroll down, I can see there are information is included in several rows. If I go at the bottom, I can see the row number 251. So this starts with row 1 over here, and there are 251 rows. So here each row is representing for each polygon drawn over here in this map. Okay, and this map and attribute tables are linked. That's what the strength of the GIS environment. So I can play over here with the attribute table. For example, I can sort this country with the country name by clicking this. These country names are getting sorted alphabetically. And now if I, let us say, click over here, Australia. So by clicking over here, I am selecting a row which is nothing but represented as a polygon in this map. So the moment I select a row over here which includes the information of Australia, the corresponding polygons get highlighted over here. For example, if I select another country, let us say India, then this polygon will get highlighted. So this is how this attribute table and the maps are linked. Similarly, I can select several other polygon together by pressing control button. So if I press control, I can select Iceland, I can select Hungary, I can select Japan, I can select Italy, I can select Iraq, I can select Iran, and now you can see those all selections are getting highlighted in this map with this yellow color. Okay, so this is how the attribute table and the map is linked. I'm just repeating again here, one polygon is represented by one row in attribute table. Okay, I can deselect all these polygons or the rows over here by clicking over here which says deselect all. I'm just deselecting it. Now everything has gone, so we have come to the normal map again. Okay, so this is how the attribute table is. Similarly, I can select the countries over here by the tool which is available over here, which is called as select feature by area. You can see over here. Okay, I can select it. Then you can see the moment I select it, you can see the change in the symbol of the cursor. For example, I am repeating this again. I'm just, now this is a pan symbol, I'm just moving anywhere. Let me bring back to the zoom to layer. Then I'm selecting this. Now there is a change in a cursor. So now I can again select the feature over here. This feature is getting highlighted. Now I can select China, I can select Australia again, and the moment I select this stuff over here, the same stuff is getting highlighted in this attribute table. I can just open attribute table again. Okay, now I can see the Australia is getting highlighted. If I highlight China, then I can see the attribute table over here again, and I can see the, you can see the China is getting highlighted in the map again. Okay, and I can also select, if I, let us say I want to select the SAARC nations, so I can select the multiple countries by pressing control. So if I press control, then I can have multiple selections. Okay, okay, if I want to select Bhutan, I will select it again. Okay, now you can see all these selections again in the attribute table. So you can see the Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, also the India, and so on. So this is how you can select the multiple features in the map. I will again deselect all the areas, all the highlighted components. I can use these options available over here, deselect the features. So with a deselection, everything will get deselected and I can see the normal map again. Again, I will zoom to layer, so I am seeing the complete layer including all the polygons. Now every time, for example, I want to, I will zoom in over here. You can zoom in by scrolling the mouse as well. That option works very well, and also zoom out with the mouse. So I will recommend all of you to use mouse. It brings a lot of flexibility in all graphical softwares, because otherwise you can also use this plus and this magnifier, but mouse are way better. You can use the, you can improve the precision of mouse by, while scrolling you can press the control key of your keyboard, and with this you can have more control on the scrolling option of a mouse. Now we will see that how we can see the attributes of a particular given polygon. See, for example, I want to know the name of this country. Again, obviously I can select over here and I can go back and see which country is this by going back into the attribute table and see where the highlighted area is. So this is Laos, but this is again a time consuming because there are 256 countries listed in this map. So what I can, what is the other alternative available to me is, I'm again deselecting this. There is a tool called identifier. So this identifier tool is over here, which is called as identify features. You can see more clearly over here. Okay, I can select this tool by clicking it. So the moment I select it, you can see the a short window has opened over here which with the name identify results. So now also you can see there's a change in the cursor symbol. So you need to uh, pay attention to the cursor symbol, because many times cursor symbols also shows that which tools you are using at a given point. So I can click over here, and the moment I click over here it highlights that particular polygon and it gives me information of that particular polygon only. So right now I have clicked on Laos, so it has brought in this frame all the attributes of Laos from the attribute table only for Laos. If I click over here, it gives me all the attributes for the country of Vietnam, including the currency and the status and all those things. So this is a not a landlocked country, but if I say select the Cambodia, you can see it's a landlocked country. Landlocked, the status is yes, Y means yes. So with this identifier tool, it's quite helpful. If I want to identify a particular feature, I can just click anywhere, and it will highlight the attributes of that particular polygon. For example, now it is a case of Bhutan. So this is a quite helpful tool when you are dealing with the complex map layer with the multiple polygons. I can again shut down this identify feature layer and again go back to the span. I can deselect everything. Again zoom to layer. Okay, so this is we have seen for the one layer. Now let us import another layer which is called as the cities shapefile. So how can I import it again? I can either double click over here, or I can straight away bring it and drop it into the layer panel. Okay, I can just drop it over here in layer panel, and this you can see all the uh, additional information is added with these small circles on the map. So these are the nothing but the cities which are spread across the globe. So this is called the city layer, and I can identify. I can use the same tool again. If for example I want to know what this dot is indicating, I can use the identify feature. I can click over here. So this is the Jaipur. So this has brought the information from the attribute table of the cities. I can see the attribute table entries for this particular city only. Similarly I can click over here, it shows me Ahmedabad. Similarly I can click over here, it shows me here some other country, some Erzurum, okay, whatever it is. Okay, I can again, but also I can view the attribute table of the cities, because cities is a different layer, and I can see the attribute table by clicking over here. Okay, now you can see the cities attribute table which has only 4 columns, and now you can see you can just drag this down and can see there are total 606 features. So there are 606 cities which are mapped on this map, and each city is having a 4 type of data: name of the city, name of the country, population, and the status, whether it is a capital city or not. Okay, so for example I can do the similar exercises again. So I can click the city over here, and similar all those cities will get highlighted in the map. I can see I can have the multiple selection by pressing control. Okay, or if I want to, for example if I want to drag from here to this city, so I can press shift, so it will select all the in between roads. It will select all the in between roads. It will select all the in between roads. And now I can just minimize this, and now I can see there are few cities are getting highlighted with the yellow color. Okay, I can deselect them all again. So it's a normal feature. Now you must have seen there's also change over here. There's a city layer which is shown with the circle, and the country layer is shown with this rectangle. So there is a particular reason for that. As we have seen, the vector data can be of three type. It can be point, it can be polygon, or it can be a line. So this city vector model or city layer is only including the point data, therefore this is a point. The country shapefile or country vector data, country vector layer is including only a polygon type information, so it is represented as a polygon. So remember, vector data can present only one type of the data. Either it can be a point, it can be a line, or it can be a polygon. So any layer can show only a data of only one particular geometry. So therefore city can only have all the informations or all the features with a dot only. It cannot have a polygon. The country have all the features with the polygon only. It cannot represent any feature which has a dot as a geometry. Okay, so let's go back, let's zoom out. Okay, so in this video we have learned basics of vector layer, how to open a vector layer from the browser. Either you can drop this layer in the layer panel, or you can double click on the layer. We have also see in that how to open attribute table, and we have also seen how the attribute table is linked with the map, how the polygons from the attribute tables are linked with the map, how the dot files are linked with the dot features are linked with the map, and also I've also seen how we can identify attribute information of a particular feature by using identifier tool like this. Okay, now you can see over here I am not able to select the cities. I can only select the polygon. I want to select the cities, but I'm not able to select the polygon. Why this is happening, we'll see in the next video. Thank you.